I'm still a servant too.
He tried to say they got.
That's what I get for leaving.
Right. Right.
I packed all that other stuff but left my garment.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'm gonna do the camera, brother. I can do the camera. I ain't above doing the camera.
He got you now.
I'm gonna do the camera, brother. I'm a humble servant too. I am a humble servant too. Are we live yet though? I can't tell, brother. I hit create, but I was looking for something to say we're live, but.
Yeah, we live.
Okay, con.
Somebody can check on their phone.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do a check, then we'll salute in. Bring it in, brother. You can move my bag to the back out the way. It's right in front of the God. Put the sign out too. I will take that water though, if somebody would. The water. All right. Did you check? We live? Oh, you checking now? Making sure.
Following the page though, right? The Bob page.
Anybody else got a phone? Here, look, check on mine. Damn it.
Oh, you got no Wi-Fi. Yeah, there you go. It's live.
It's live. You got sound though. Everything good?
Click on the feed receipt.
Okay.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well, and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there pushing this truth and to the four corners of the earth, you know, and the sisters and brethren listening also.
All right. So today we're going to get on Ancient Watchman. I remember the guy, what's his name? Jose Vega. All right, the Puerto Rican. All right, I'm calling Puerto Rican, man. Cause he's not Ephraim, man. All right, you're heathen to us, man. Why? Because you're teaching the opposite of this truth, man. All right, somebody give me Jeremiah 4:22. All right, what he teaching?
Real quick.
Yeah.
You said Luke 11:23. Then whatever you call for.
Luke 11:23.
Okay, this is Luke chapter 11, verse 23. It says, "He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth."
Right, man. And you scattering the sheep. You scattering the cheap, Ancient Watchman. All right, teaching this false doctrine that the so-called Negroes are the Canaanites, man. All right, and you twisting scriptures and everything, man. All right.
So is he one of these Northern Kingdom only cats?
Yeah, he one of the Northern Kingdom only cats.
Wow.
Right.
It was really bugged out because it's like just like those
the opposite of the other clowns.
and they can never name who the tribes actually are, man.
Right. You gonna try to say? Then you try to say, we're black supremacists. Where you see on here that it says black anywhere? Where do you see it at?
Yeah,
it says 12 tribes of Israel.
That's a false label that Esau created.
That's a false. Yeah, the reason they did that shit because they know in people's subconscious that Esau brainwashed everyone in America think black is
around the world for that part, for that matter.
Man.
Over time,
right?
Because in other nations they didn't teach that lie. That started right here in America.
Right. Right. So I'm just first all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders of York, man. Citation brothers out there. All right, to make sure we get that. All right, because then he said we're black supremacists. All right, and I ain't black, man. All right, my skin is chocolate brown. Rest of brothers brown, man. Brother behind it is brown, man. All right, I'm from the Northern Kingdom. Brother behind the cameras from the Northern Kingdom, man. All right, so this ain't no so-called only black thing. All right, if we supremacists, why do if we were supremacists, all 12 of these tribes, we would say all them Negro.
And the guys that do that, we come against.
And yeah,
because you got some guys that push that lie.
Right. So you got these 3 tribes up here. You know, because West End hated them, but so-called Negroes was different tribes: Judah, Benjamin, Levi. All right. And down here you got what? So-called Latinos and Native Americans, the rest of 9 tribes. If we was black supremacists, we had everything black down here, man. And we'd have had all 8 tribes, just gave you 1 tribe. That's what supremacists do, man. They rule supreme.
It's funny that, yeah, you're right. But it's funny he tried to say that it doesn't mention the skin color in the scriptures. You know, it just mentions the prophecy, which is a lie. It mentions both. It mentions the prophecy by both.
Yeah.
You know, because, hey, yeah, Hamites are dark skin. They have brown skin too. But at the same time, you know, so do the Israelites. Yeah. And it says in the scripture that even the Lord, the Most High, it said his looked like a sardine stone, man. Which I looked up both those stones, and somebody had asked me today on my little social media page. He's like, well, is guy white or black? And he wasn't scoffing. He really wanted to know. This guy had been following me for a while. He said, is he white or black? And he was like, can you provide the scripture? And I showed him the scripture. It said, what? The Lord's hair was as a pure wool. You know?
As a matter of fact, I just looked up. Bring that sardine stone up to the camera, Baba Kashak, because I don't know how to. I don't want to try to focus and mess it all up. But yeah, now if you put a lot of, and that's that. Matter of fact, that's that that ruddy, that brownish red.
Yeah.
You know, the real ruddy,
yeah.
not the new speak definition of ruddy, because that's another thing that Esau is famous for. They're the kings of revisions and kings of new speak, taking words and changing the meanings of them.
Because it's funny, because my wife, I be like trying to shut her up, because she always say, our daughter is she's a little bit lighter than me. And she said, our daughter is really red. I'm like, no, she's not. Because she be talking about that. She be thinking red, and she doesn't even know what that word means.
Right.
And she be like, yeah, she's really red. He's like, you're really red too, babe. I'm like, no, the fuck I'm not. But she talks about that ruddy.
Well, because modern day, they've taken that word and associated with paleness.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just not true. That Ruddy was really speaking about, and as simple as that. Until they take it down, you just Google ruddy horse, ruddy duck, ruddy cow, ruddy dog, and it's going to show you. Matter of fact, do that, and it's going to show you someone that's brownish red, not palish red.
Even this brick right here.
That is kind of it's what they call tawny. Now you bring it close. It's showing you some Hamites that are brownish red. It's showing you a cow that is brownish red, and it's showing you look like no, those are all cows and bulls. But yeah, but there you go, man. So you can't get around this truth, man.
Because the word Adama, because they trying to say that it means red and stuff like Esau.
And it means ground.
It means ground.
Because they're trying to mix it with the definition of Edom.
Right.
They're two different. They look similar in the Hebrew, and they sound similar in the Hebrew, but they're two different words, man.
If you go to the Blue Letter Bible, look up around in the other Hebrew scriptures, it will say Adam.
Yeah, kind like when it says Judah is black unto the ground.
Right.
You know, meaning he's dark, not actually black. You know,
right.
Black is a color, not a race.
Because another thing they mentioned in that video, they kept on saying, well, when you go into they mentioned these verses that talk about these scriptures that talk about dark skin, and when you translate into Hebrew, there's a whole different meaning. But that's not true, because you get Jeremiah 14:2, it says Judah mourned, and it gave thereof language.
So they mourn it. All right, go ahead.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. So already stated what state they mourn it in their language. I mean they lack in leadership, man. Right? They in dire straits.
Yep, they're gates, meaning they have no leadership, no government, no guidance, none of that.
Right. So it's like on a Mickey Mouse cartoon. It's a gate and he crying and shit. Like
Yeah,
this.
right. No, they're in a
crying.
state of confusion. They're in a state of mourning.
They're in a state of confusion more. So it's expressing their emotions right there. So that's how you know that it's not talking about an actual black gate, man. All right.
They try to make it the gate.
Right.
Like he just at a gate that's black.
Like that.
What an idiot,
gate
man.
Behind you was crying. And
Con. Yeah, the gate is actually crying. You know, they do the same thing in the Songs of Solomon.
Right.
They try to say, and it tells you that the songs, which is Solomon,
Right.
is Solomon speaking. But I looked that up a couple weeks back, and it tries to, and the Christian commentary, because whoever this guy is, this ancient guy you're talking about,
Right.
all he's doing is teaching Christian dogma, which is basically, and if you support Christianity, you're basically supporting white supremacy.
He do.
Because it was all Christianity is based in white supremacy.
Right.
Quite because they ignore the scriptures, they ignore the evidences, and they ignore what the Bible says, and they push their own doctrine, and of course then they use Newspeak.
They actually secretly not secretly, openly, because we all can see them, but they worship Caesar Borgia.
Con.
And what it says in it say Ephraim leave Ephraim alone. They to those idols, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he didn't shake that Caesar Borgia virus, man. He's still strictly.
So he you know what? It sounds to me, this guy is the worst type of Israelite. You know,
Yeah.
because it'd be better if he just stayed, you know, in the congregation of the dead, than
Right.
to learn here Israelite and then learn half doctrine and not know that, because that means he's gonna get the Lord didn't choose him, man.
Oh, right.
If he don't repent and turn from teaching all those lies, man, he that close no cigar dude. He that dude that always missed the bullseye, that always come in second in every race. You know, he be winning, all of a sudden the dude pass him right at the last second, man.
And
He that guy.
It's funny that you said that, because that's what he started mentioning. It's like he's really prideful. Like, you know, he's like, I could be Judah. I'm like, I could be Ephraim, because he just wanted to be first. And, you know, he started mentioning, like, and Jake be going off talking about, like, the black woman is God shit. That shit is off.
Trying to quit that. That's really talking about Esau.
At one point it was talking about the king of Babylon, man. The king of Tyre.
Kind of, yeah. Ashur king. It's historically, it's double for it's historically talking about the Canaanites. All right, and it's talking about Esau today, man.
And it was talking about, because it's actually talking about somebody that's in the rulership.
Right.
That scripture had nothing to do with some niggas. It's just like they ain't shit. And most of the reason why Jake does do that, as far as like when they go off of their actual abilities, they go off their actual abilities because you know what, Jake don't have a fucking culture, man.
Right.
So the first thing they can do is like it's like they said, like, we got to be something. That's all Jake knows, is that they got to be something, and the Lord cursed them to not know what they are, man.
Yeah. And the so-called Puerto Ricans and the rest of the Latin tribe, they do the same shit too, man. And guess what? When the Nordic Kingdom, because I forgot who it was. No, it was Elder Ricard. Elder Ricard's a so-called Seminole Indian. He said him and Jake, when they hook up, he said high school, he said when they see Esau, man, he's basically said when they see Esau, man, they gonna hammer Esau when they play sports against him, man. They beat the hell out of him, man. All right. So they believe this. They believe they superior to the other nations too, man. They do the same thing.
Con, you holding something, brother?
God, Song of Solomon 5 and 10, since you
Con.
guys mentioned it.
Con.
My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000.
Mm-hmm. And meaning white being pure. If you go to Joel, I believe it's Joel 1 and 7, it talks about being made white. That's talking about being made clean, being made pure.
Right.
All right? There's no such thing as a white person, man.
Right.
You know, there's no, people are brown and people are red. Matter of fact, if I may, just to throw this in there, if you read that, was that it? Joel 1 and 7, was that it? That wasn't it? Maybe it was Genesis. They will be made white. I just read that. I thought it was either in Genesis or Joel.
The funny thing about that scripture, when I was looking up the stones today, it said, I believe it mentions in that book of Solomon that they are ruddier than rubies. Right. The word for ruby basically would go into. They said that it could have been translated as the sardine stone. I got to look up the actual word, but yeah, like those stones. Because when you look at those stones, they're reddish brown, man. So even with that, you want to say, oh, okay, they're reddier than that. You know, even a pure ruby itself to be a brownish red color. But if it's translated as that stone, it's a brown red. Tawny.
Right. And here go Judite in First Chronicles chapter 2, verse 24. His name Ashur, but you go into Hebrew, it's Ashur Karwar. All right, let's see what it means. Hold on. It says Strong's info. It said black Ashur Israelite. All right, because Shakar, it got the Hebrew word in there, Shakarwar.
Yeah, Joel 1 and 7.
All right.
Oh, it is Joel.
It's right here, man. It's telling you what, that he's a very, not exactly black, but he's a very dark-skinned person, man. You can see this is First Chronicles chapter 2, verse 24.
Con.
All right. All right. So the Jews were a dark brown-skinned people, man. But guess what? They had various shades of brown.
Daniel 12 and 10 too. Go ahead, read those real quick, Baba Kasha.
God, many shall be purified and made white.
So that's the reason why they use that terminology, white people, which was created right here in America, in Virginia, in 1681. And at the same time they did that, they what came not long after that was the doctrine of separating. They started classifying the census numerators, began to reclassify Native Americans as, Gadites, who as Native Americans. But in 1683 in Virginia, the Negro and the so-called Native were considered the same race of people and were both called black or tawny, all right, or swarthy. Right. And the letter from Benjamin Franklin is evidence, is proof of that.
Right.
All right, it's proof to that, undeniable proof. There's another one by someone named Mackey, that did the same thing. So that being made white, if you would go to the one in Daniel 12 and 10 too. That talking about being made white is talking about being made pure, not white flesh. There's no such thing. There's no white person. Notebook paper is white, and I haven't seen a person that color. I'm looking at the pages of Nagah's book through the lens of this camera, and what I see is white pages. I don't see there's not a person that walks around that looks like this book.
Yeah, they try to use that and try to say that King Solomon was white. I'm like, what? I say, you don't crack boy.
You're right. When Lamentations 4 and 8, speaking of the Israelites, tell you that their visage is dark as a coal. Jeremiah 14 and 2, he just read it. It says their skin is kadarwa,
right,
which is dark. Right. Okay.
If you go to Psalm 7 and 1, somebody go to Psalm 7 and 1. Somebody get on their phone, Psalm 7 and 1.
Psalm chapter 7, verse 1.
Right. Start at the beginning before Psalm 7 and 1. Just read that. Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel 12 and 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
Right, so this was talking about the Israelites being made white, but so what you trying to say, that they changed from being dark to white? Is that what you're trying to say? Because their description, their physical description, now as a matter of fact, look up that word white in the Hebrew, and you're probably going to learn that that's talking about purity. You're gonna find out that it's talking about being pure, being made clean. It has nothing to do with complexion.
Right.
All right. So there's a play on words, man, on the translation of the word. And what do we say? Esau is the master of newspeak, of redirection, misdirection, and disinformation.
Right. Here you go. We've been beating up Esau for the last 12 years, beating him up, and he's gonna try to come and bring his trick. He's gonna try to bring his doctrine to us.
Yeah. So this dude might be a tear.
Right.
Who his daddy might be a damn tear baby.
Right.
He
just bugged out.
They just horrible. They too proud.
They too proud.
Okay.
They proud as fuck.
And what it is, they I don't know what camp they belong to, but they said that the Southern Kingdom were treating them bad at camp, then they left that camp. I said you could have set up your own camp and kept teaching the truth.
Yeah, you didn't have right, exactly.
Right.
So you acted like a child. And you're gonna take your ball and go home and ruin the game.
You gonna ruin the game?
Cause you sucked. Instead of getting your game better, you staying after and shooting some jumpers or just dribbling better. You just gonna take your ball. I'm going home.
Right. Go ahead. Verse 1. It's Psalm 7. Psalm chapter 3. That little sentence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then,
okay.
yeah, read that sentence above Psalm 71.
Yeah, this is the prefix of Psalm 71. It says, Shagayan of David, which he sang unto the Lord Yahweh, concerning the words of Cush, the Benjamite.
All right, so what everybody associate with Cush? Dark skin. I remember in the Zondervan Bible, I'm sorry, the blue letter, coordinates in the blue letter, it says what? Cush. It says black, mean dark brown, man.
Bring it to look this way.
This way?
Yeah.
It means dark brown, man. You can see right here. It's
There you go.
Kawash. And Kawash is associated with what? Dark skin.
Wait, pull back a little bit and freeze.
Okay. All right, so I look at the Strong's coordinates.
Because you had it, and then bring it in a little bit. There we go.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
All right.
Focus finally.
So I looked it up in the blue letter. All right, the little prefix above Psalm 71. The name Cush with the Benjamite name about it is referring to, everybody referred Cush as what? Dark skin.
Let me hold it.
All right?
Just keep speaking.
Okay. So everybody associates the word Kawash, which is correctly the correct word of saying Cush in Hebrew, is associated with very, very dark skin. All right, who are very dark skinned? The so-called Ethiopians, man. The sons of Cush.
And matter of fact,
Right.
In the Zondervan's dictionary Bible, which if you can get, you can probably get it online. They revised the definition of Ham in the newer one. That goes to show you how this truth is getting to them, because when you read the definition about the four sons of Ham, the part that it says not the Negroes has been removed.
Right.
Now, in the beginning, I've learned just a couple days ago that the Zondervan's was first published in 1964-65. All right. And the copy that I have, I believe, was in 1992, and it had been revised, but the definition of Ham is still the same as it was in 1964. And then I also learned that it was like 69, almost 70 scholars that put that together. All right, 69 scholars with all the credentials that Esau acknowledges, a lot higher than Esau. A lot of these people who went to these seminary schools, or that was a name that Apostle Tahar was using, and I can't remember. I'm gonna have to borrow that for him. Right. But they went to these places that just taught them lies, man. Because is that what he was calling them? Yeah, there we go. He was calling them theological cemeteries, not seminaries. Exactly. Because why? Because they just a part of the congregation of the dead. They keep you in a dead state. And when you when you look up that in that definition of Ham, it clearly tells you that Ham, his four sons, turn it around real quick so I can just name them. Then I'm gonna shut up. Mizraim, Cush, Canaan, and Put. It tells you that Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Turn it around real quick. It says, but not the Negroes. So the Negroes being what? The tribe of Judah, or the Israelites in themselves. Because in the Smith breakdown, the Smith Dictionary Bible, the definition of Ham goes even harder, because it tells you, it basically tells you that all the tribes of the 12 tribes were, it said not the Negroid races. And what were those Negroid races? Plural, it was the 12 tribes, because they're one gigantic family, 12 different tribes, but then they're also 12 different sets of people, all one race. Right. So those were the Negroid races. Right. So it clearly makes a difference between Ham, the dark races, and then the Negroid races, that they're different. But what did Esau do? He combined the two and created that confusion, and then labeled the Negroes black, and then try to say that everyone black came from Africa, and that's a lie. You got people in India that are darker than and dark as Negroes. You got Arabs that are as darker than or dark as Negroes.
Go to Sham. Go to Sham. Go to the Table of Nations. Go to Genesis chapter 10 and Sham and read the Elam in there.
From the Zondervan's,
yeah, bring that out. Yes, sir.
Ham. This is from the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. Ham, the youngest son of Noble, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
Khan. That's Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan.
Right. And to kill all of that, because I just realized the simplest scriptures that they tried to dismiss, they didn't even mention in that lesson. It mentions the Egyptians. Who was compared to the Egyptians? You had Paul and you had Moses. They were compared to 2 Egyptians. Exactly, man. Prove it to you what? And it just named it. Those are dark skinned races, right?
Right.
Those are dark skinned races, man.
Because they try to portray the Egyptians as just dark red. No, the Egyptians was different shades of brown.
And he just showed you,
Right.
with the dictionary Bible,
Right.
with those 69 scholars,
Yep.
all right, just said, and plus the scholars from the Smiths all agreed, and then he brought up the ruddy. He said they red. Let's bring up because those were Cushites who are brothers to the Egyptians. That ruddy picture again.
Right.
Bring it back up to the camera. This kills that lie of whatever they talking about.
Yep. You can pull up a picture of the Egyptians' middle kingdom. It'll show them very dark skinned, and it'll show them light skinned. All right.
Could you click on that one and make it bigger? There it is. Let me hold it. I can make it focus. There you go. Those are your Egyptians,
Yep.
your Cushites, your Hamites, right there. That dark race, all right, but not the Negroes. So what Esau tried to do is make everybody is just try to group the Negroes in with these people. There you go, brother.
Right. And Elon, read Elon. Shem came out of Elon.
You mean Elam came out of Shem?
Yeah. So it's a lot.
I know what you meant. It's all good.
And it's really Alam means youthful. Man.
Or you know what?
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I remember when Yashawan was a righteous brother when he was in the camp. You know, he was the first giant. When Yashawan was in the camp, Yashawan called an Elamite when we walked in the store. Elam, Elam, and the Indian corrected him and said, "No, it's Elam."
Elam.
So he knew he was Elam.
Yeah.
Right. He was, no, it's Elam.
Elam.
So he knew who his forefather was, man. So, and that man was a Hebrew, and he was dark flesh,
Yep.
just as dark as the brothers in front of me.
Right.
But they don't call him black though.
Right. Because if Shem was exclusively light skinned, originally light skinned, what happened to Elam?
Why all his children dark?
Right.
Why this one?
dark?
He light skinned, but all his children coming out dark with woolly hair.
Right.
So he was only. Oh, I get it. He was only popping dark women with woolly hair. Get the hell out of here,
The
man.
Hamites. He just went to the Hamites. That's what they try to say. But this is Genesis chapter 11, verse 22. It says, "The children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram."
Right. Go ahead. It said Elam. All right. So we all know that that Ishmael came out of Shem. He said ain't never been no Negro mistaken for no Arab or some East Indian.
That guy don't know the scriptures.
He don't know the scripture. Here go the book of Nations Knows No Colorland by J. Rodman. Here go page 57. And it says this is a case with Negroes, the tribe of Judah, was mistaken for Arabs. Ishmael, it said many American Negroes are indistinguishable from Arabs. The New York Times, February the 2nd, 1945. All right, this one it said reports of meeting between President Roosevelt and King Abdi Saud. It was a matter of considerable astonishment of the king's servants to discover American Negro cooks and mess boys, and it was more than difficult to persuade them that these were not also Arabs.
And you know what? It's funny that you would bring that out,
Right.
And because that just goes to prove how they lied when they when they put those reclassifications. Yeah, that was a major distraction. When they put those reclassifications upon Jacob, and then how they start trying to classify everyone that was dark as black. That's black, and when did that happen? That happened in the really in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this confusion that you're reading about came into play. Read.
Yep, it says right here, I'm going to read again. It says, many Negroes are indistinguishable from Arabs. These Arabs are Ishmael. The New York Times, February the 2nd, 1945, reports a meet between President Roosevelt and King Abdi Saud. It was a matter of considerable astonishment of the king's servants to discover American Negro cooks and mess boys, and it was more than difficult to persuade them that these were not also Arabs. So they thought these American Negroes were Ishmaelites. They fellow Ishmaelite brothers.
Because they had been around them.
Right.
Why? Because they look the same.
Yep.
All right.
And it says the matter was never entirely cleared up. They were still pissed off because they thought that Esau had their people as servants at the White House.
There you go.
Yep. And here you go right here. If you right here,
What?
man.
That's page 57.
Page 57.
Yeah.
All right. In the book, Nature Knows No Color Line.
Well, and that book right there is a weapon,
The
man.
name
Right.
itself is a cut.
That and Esau knows Nature Knows No Color Line.
Right.
was Esau Edom.
Who is Esau Edom, and a couple other ones. There's another one that J.A. Rogers did. All J.A. Rogers' book hurt Esau bad
That's right.
because it proves and shows his lies. Especially when you go to those the coats of arms.
Right.
Those are all those Huguenots.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
they're right there, and they're showing you all those people in Europe, Denmark, Sweden,
Yep.
Germany,
Yep.
Czechoslovakia, Ireland, Scotland.
Yep.
They're showing you those families. Those were those Huguenots, and those Huguenots were nothing but Moors and Morenos, the secret Jews. That's all they were.
Exactly. And how would you explain the Morenos that were in Europe, man?
What kind of
The
word,
Sephardic
Moreno?
Jew. It just means dark skin.
Right? They
It
were crypto Jews, Sephardic Jews. That's exactly what they were.
Yep.
Morocco.
And they set up the slave ports here in America.
And they were selling their own people
Set their
here in
own
America.
people from West Africa and from here, the Nordic Kingdom, man. All right. And then what? Later on, they got betrayed by Esau. Esau put their ass in slavery.
And that's what the hell they get.
Yeah.
Because they were the biggest race traders in the history. And so Esau would try to make he'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But he'll tell you that as if it was happening in Africa. That was happening here.
'Cause one
That
of-
was being set up here.
Because one of them
And that's
bugged
why
out.
you got them bugged out dudes is always saying we was already here. They talking about the Huguenots.
Right.
All right, and the Huguenots and the natives looked alike, and then they were warring with each other in a lot of
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett was a damn Negro.
That's right.
They portrayed him in the news and on TV as a white guy. He was a Huguenot, and he was fighting against his own brothers, against Gad, and enslaving them and selling them for because why? He was a damn race trader.
Right. Because they try to say, one of those bug out Issachar followers of H. Watchman, he's trying to say, yeah, they sold them slaves for slavery, try to pretend like they us. That's the most stupidest thing. We'll show you on those scriptures. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 54.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54.
Uh-huh.
It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother,
Uh-huh.
and toward the wife of his bosom,
Uh-huh.
and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Right, he says his eyes should be evil towards his brother. So that was evil. That was evil they did to their brother, man. What? Selling their brother into hardcore slavery.
God,
man.
that's prophecy coming to
That's
pass.
prophecy coming to life. Right? You had Jake in Africa that was selling not all of them, but you had some Jakes that was selling Jakes, man, in Africa, man.
God.
All
But
right.
that was mainly happening here in America with
In
these
the-
Huguenots.
The Huguenots, right.
Selling the Northern Kingdom.
And then on the opposite side, in the southwest area, the Comanches was beating up their brothers. They was beating up the Ute tribes. They beating the rest of the tribes.
They was also going at it with Issachar.
And they was going there with Issachar, man. And they was sell their own brethren in slavery, man.
God.
And the Comanches, they were just like the Huguenots, man. They was rolling, man.
Yeah.
The Comanches
And
was rolling.
matter of fact,
Yeah.
the Issachars, some of their kingdoms stretched all the way up into Montana.
Right.
So they came way up into America.
Right.
So it's more than just California, Nevada,
Right.
Colorado, Texas, New Mexico that they took from Issachar.
Right.
There are
Esau,
parts of
yeah.
because they kingdom stretched all the way up into that's how they were getting into it with the Comanche.
Yeah, and the Comanches, they had lots of land. I forget what areas they stretched, but they had like a large amount of land. And when you got land, you got what? You got power. and
Right,
wealth.
and Esau feared the Comanche and the
Right.
Apache, man.
And then they was making that money. The Comanche, the tribe of Gad, they was making their money by selling their own people to Esau, man, and to down there. To
They were
Mexico.
trading because
They were trading, right.
they were also trading with those Huguenots.
Yeah. So that goes with Deuteronomy 20:54, man. Hey, the northern kingdom, southern kingdom, they hands not clean, man. They had an evil eye for each other, man.
Con.
That's why we all went into slavery, man.
Right.
Yeah, Jake did do that shit, man.
Yep.
That's just like
Hey, you know,
just with Britain.
you know what? Watching them period pieces show you that.
Yep.
I've been watching like the Vikings and the Last Kingdom. No, those weren't white people. They weren't so-called Negroes,
Right.
and all they were doing was fighting and killing each other, usurping each other, committing all kind of adultery and abominations, selling each other into slavery, and they were doing all kind of horrible things to each other. They women was adulterous. They would have they were having orgies and shit. Jake was being wicked as hell.
The last Robin Hood with Jamie Foxx,
Con.
Crusader Muslim, those were the same people.
And they were the same people.
In that movie, they were selling the Moors. They caught the Moors and they held them in chains, man.
Yep.
Check that movie out, Robin Hood.
And that
man.
was they were the same people.
And they were the same damn people, man.
Yes, and that's pretty much how even America got formed, man.
Right.
Through traitors,
Yeah.
because the Brits, they were niggas.
Mm-hmm.
The first presidents were what? They were Jake. They were Southern Kingdom Jakes, man.
Yeah, it's argument about some of these presidents going back. Might have very well been Jake with dark skin too. It's a lot of lies that are coming out now because I've seen some stuff of it. I haven't really dug into the evidence. That's why I haven't talked about it. I have to do more research before I speak on it.
Right.
But it's possible that even Lincoln could have been a so-called.
Negro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
that's in that
possible.
book of
He could have been one of them Huguenots.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, go ahead, get the precept.
Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right, so Esau behind all that shit because the Huguenots, they didn't have no weapons. They were banned from owning weapons, man.
Kind.
Right.
Yep. And they were banned from owning weapons. That's a
Yep.
sign. That's a big clue right there.
Right.
This is in a book by John Mackey, page 26 and 27. It called "The Memoirs of Secret Services, 1733." He described the Secretary of State of Great Britain as being a very black man, like a Spaniard or a Jew. You hear that? Like a Spaniard or a Jew. That's what it said, man. Right, and that's right there in this book. It says, he also the exterior air of. This is Old English, so it's hard to read those letters. The application enough to make Bisson very capable in his habits and manners, very formal, a tall, thin, black man like a Spaniard or a Jew. So he's telling you that this tall, thin black man was like a Spaniard or a Jew, proving the definition of the Morenos. Man, this is a cut, man.
Yeah.
And this book is from 1733. Didn't Ben Franklin write a letter in 1751 talking about the swarthy and tawniness
Yep.
of the Negroes in Germany and in Europe?
Yep.
All right. And then he said that all of America was swarthy and tawny.
I think you can find this book.
He
I
said,
got it right here.
Franklin's letter.
It might be in that one. 'Cause I know they in two versions of that book, the Negro Question. That's part 6. It might be in there.
Oh, this is part 6. Whoa. I have part 4.
Okay.
You have them all?
Some of the brothers got my books. So,
Okay, con.
Yeah, but I got that one. See if I got stuff.
That's all. I'll peep it later. But you know that info from John Mackey. Let's see if I can put it on camera, man.
Right.
That's a cold cut.
Yeah.
That's a cold cut because it proves what we always say about the Moors and the Morenos.
Yep.
All right, and he's talking about someone that's in the cabinet of in Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says in a book by John Mackey, page 26-27, called "The Memoirs of Secret Services, 1733." He described the Secretary of State of Great Britain as being a very black man, like a Spaniard or Jew. And there's the highlighted area where and that what page is that? Like you said, 27.
There you go, man. All right, see, we show the scriptures. We're showing historical evidence, man. All right, you don't show no, man, but just show your mouth.
His
man.
vain opinion, man.
Your vain opinion, man. You self-hatred, man. You hate yourself, man. And that's due to that curse that goes back to Judges chapter 12, when the Most High put a curse on the 2/3 that they should worship idols, man, because they worship the idols of Canaan. All right, those Hamites, man. And that Caesar Borgia, all that stuff go back to Canaan, Babylon, Egypt, man. All right, and you worship Caesar Borgia, man. You worship their pale face Jeebus, man.
Because whether he realizes it or not, he's supporting it.
He's supporting it,
He's
man.
lifting it up.
Right. You lifting it up. You can't shake. You can't like a hair adder. You can't shake it. You can't shake it, man. You can't shake that Caesar Borgia drug out your head, man. All right, and we're gonna talk about your tribe, Ephraim, man. Get the birth of when Joseph was taken for the Egyptian.
Kind. And remember, I had that image for years, man, of Joseph and that Hamite.
Right.
That was on a wall in one of those pyramids.
In Egypt.
And yeah, I had that for a very long time. I got to try and get that again, because they pulled their video off YouTube.
Right.
We started using it, and they pulled it off YouTube. So I had the image of it, and Joseph was darker than the Hamite.
That's right.
Right. I would always ask people, and I would show them which one is the African and which one is the Israelite, and they would always point to Joseph as being the African. He was darker than the Hamite, and he was dressed like in the royal dress, so he looked like a damn Hamite. And all the authorities, what do they call them guys that dig up shit? Archaeologists. All the archaeologists, all the doctors, all the archaeologists stated that was Joseph. This was an image of Joseph, who was sometimes called Imhotep.
Yep. Start with 6.
This is Genesis chapter 42, verse
Joseph
6.
go back to the Lashwan Kadaj where Yahweh means add on to.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
This is Genesis 42 and 6. It says, and Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
And fulfilling his dream, because he had that dream in Genesis.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, To the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
They didn't recognize him.
Because he had grown up, he was fully into his manhood.
Yep.
They assumed he was dead. He was dressed like a heathen. Probably didn't even have a beard.
He did.
He probably had a bald face like the Egyptians.
Yep.
All right, and he was dressed like one.
Yeah, because it mentions in the scripture before they had met him that he had shaved his beard and his head.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So there you go.
And that's the forefather of Ephraim and Manasseh. Now I'm gonna get this out of this book, African Native Americans by Jack D. Ford, who's written by a so-called Native American. Jack D. Ford talking about the slavery of the Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, the affliction of the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom by Esau, man. All right, so there goes Jeremiah 50:33 fulfilled right there, because their brother Job Issachar,
Grab
man.
that.
And I like
Jeremiah
Job
50 and
Issachar,
33.
man. He's a humble brother, man. All right, but he asked you a question. He said, "Show me where the gypsy fulfilled it in Jeremiah 50 verse 33." That was I think that was the last question on part 3 of that video, man. And you and H.U. Wobben, you couldn't answer. You couldn't answer, man, because you was telling lies.
Because he couldn't answer it. You know,
Yep.
it sounds like he's not fit to teach, man.
No, they not fit to teach.
So you know, these guys get these Johnny come lates
Right.
that are jumping on other man's platforms and fucking it up.
Right.
Excuse my German.
And another thing you don't know, hey, they took the gypsy slaves to Louisiana, man, and they mixed in with the offspring of Esau and Jacob, man. All right, so they down south, man, and they married to some of the Creole family.
Kind, man, that you know, we're like a speckled bird, and that we got scattered to the four corners of the earth.
Yep.
So among all people, and a lot of those gypsies were Israelites, man.
Yep, all of them are this way. Yep, and you got it's gypsy. They said it's gypsies in Senegal, man, because they just spread them all over the place, man. Esau was taking them down, man. All right, it go right here, page 24. African Native Americans about Ephraim from Hispaniola. Ephraim and Simeon, because that's what we have that island, man. Haiti and Dominican. It's called Haiti and Dominican Republic. It was Ephraim and Simeon on that island. You go page 24. This is how they look. It says right here. It said, in any case, at least 3,000 Americans, talking about the indigenous people here, are known to have been shipped to Europe between 1493 and 1501, right, fulfilling the curse of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. So you scoffers like to say that the so-called Latino Native American are Israelites, all right? It said, would likely the total being possibly double that. Most were sent to Seville area, this is in Spain, where they seemed to show up in the slave market as Negroes
Yep.
without a place of origin, being mentioned.
There you go. And matter of fact, that information is also in the book by Katz. I forget his name. The one who the author of the book Black Indians.
Right.
He wrote in his book how Seville, Spain became the reverse slave capital of the world. And who were they sending over there? They were sending natives from the Americas, man. And when he just showed you that they were being called Negroes.
They being called Negroes. So Jose Vega and Ayash, man, you self-hating Puerto Ricans, man.
Yeah, matter of fact, he just needs to be Jose Vega.
Right,
and that's
Jose
it.
Vega, man. And that Jose, I don't want to have that name Jose, man, because let's go back to a holy name, man.
Khan.
Your name just Vega, man.
Khan, you just Vega, man.
All right, here go page 195, African presence in early America. All right, now we do bone picking in GMS Chicago camp. We separate the facts from the lies, man. All right, so here go right here on page 94, describing Ephraim. It says the Arawaks, also known as Karabiski, possess a number of physical characteristics which indicate African contacts, all right? But they was already dark-skinned, man, before because Jake's go up to it, boy, in there, man. They was already dark-skinned, man, because, right, we just read that Joseph was taken for what? Egyptian.
Khan.
All right? It says right here, all right? So it's talking about Jakes, it ain't talking about no Africans, man. All right? It said those who live near the coast, Pritchard tell us, are of very dark brown, sometimes as dark as what is termed yellow Negro, but the straight, strong black hair, small features, and well-proportioned limbs are peculiarities. It is tell you the Most High said Israel peculiar people that never allowed these Indians to be taken as Africans. All right, so you knew there was difference between we know the same people. Jake got their own flavor and stuff. They would tell you the difference between the so-called the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, man. But they were still dark-skinned, just like them, man.
Yeah, like when Esau broke the treaty with John Horse.
Yeah.
All right. Why did John Horse end up going to Mexico, taking all these Jakes with him? He ended up going to Mexico because they started snatching up Jake and reclassifying them as Negro and putting them into slavery. But they were Gadites and Reubenites.
Yep. And Reuben's the first son. And the original Seminole Indians, they got 6 children. They are very dark skinned. You could mistake them as a so-called Negro. Right. It said right here, I'm going to keep reading. It said, Pritchard concerned about the African characteristics, it's talking about the Negro characteristics. All right? Here's like characteristics. Among the Arawak is understandable. His assessment of Arawak hair texture, although consistent with the most observant, is not entirely right. The handbook again also informed us among certain individuals of the Arawak tribes, the incidence of wavy and frizzy hair is rather great. All right, now show that picture of the coat of arms, that Jamaican coat of arms. Cause yeah, Ephraim, here go that Ephraim, the coat of arms right there. All right.
All right, bring it up again, Baba Kasha. Wow.
Yep.
Those are the original inhabitants.
Those original inhabitants
that
Jamaica,
before
man.
The so-called Negroes were bought from Africa. So there you go, man.
Right.
What now what?
Right. Now what you got to say? All right.
Could you screenshot that and put that in group me? Or send it straight to me, Baba Kasha?
Right. So you got scholars that describe the Arawak and the Caribbeans, Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon, describe them as what? Dark-skinned people, man. All right. So that cuts that doctrine, including the evidence of Abin Saud when he mistaken the so-called Negro cooks in the White House. He was cursing President Roosevelt when saying they people. And then also the East Indians being dark-skinned, man. So that cuts all that BS. That Shem was just this light-skinned dude that the Israelites started as light-skinned people, man. That's BS, man. And number one, Melon, I took art school, man. It's a chart. It's a chart that goes from black, gray, dark gray, light gray, light gray, and then it goes to white. All right. Matter of fact, when a man got black hair on it, in his beard, it go to phases, man. It turns what? When it starts gray, it turns what? Brown. And then what? It turns white.
Right.
All right? So how can light skin be first, man? This is the dumbest thing, man.
Yeah, true.
That's the
And
most
you don't go
dumbest
from
thing.
light to dark in most cases.
Right.
It's, you know.
Right.
And you know, in most cases, that's not how it works.
It don't how it works, man. All right, because this is you got colorism among the Northern Kingdom, man. Also the Southern Kingdom, man. But among the Northern Kingdom, man, you got colorism bad, man. Why? Because Esau came over, he set up that caste system, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All started in 1681 with that white shit.
All that with that white shit.
And
right.
then what happened after that? Then you had people like Johann Blumenbach, and then you had Darwinism.
Yep.
And what they did was they took Johann Blumenbach's teaching in Darwinism, and they married it. Somebody gets 2 Timothy 6:20, and then they used, and then they married it to Darwin's pseudoscience, and they made Ham, Shem, and Japheth, Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid, and that's how they did it, and that's all the wickedness and the separation and the lies and the confusion comes in, and they still teach that to this day.
Yep. And everybody got that epileptic iPhone, man. Every nationality, you do a research type of epileptic iPhone. Esau got it, Ham got it, Jake got it, Japhet got people with slanted eyes, man. So it ain't exclusive to Moab, so-called Chinese people, man. It's just that every nation got various shades of phenotypes within them, man. They got diversity, man. All right.
The Lord likes a garden with many flowers, not just one flower.
Right.
You know, how boring would a garden be with just all roses?
Right.
Versus a garden that's got all the rainbow color flowers in it. Which
Right.
one is going to be more attractive?
That's funny when you mentioned this.
One's going to look artificial and one's going to look...
Right. I'll go crazy, man. Like, remember those jelly beans as a kid, man?
Yeah.
All on just black, man. I'll throw that shit in the garbage.
It's not one species mentioned on Earth that only just has one variety, man. It's a diversity of colors, from butterflies to flowers, apples.
Even the zebras have different patterns in their stripes, which the Lord did that on purpose. So when they traveling in a herd, it makes it a little bit more difficult for a predator to pick one out,
Right.
because they all kind of blend together. That's why the Lord does that, man.
Why do everybody like pit bulls? They come in brindle stripe. They come red nose.
Yep.
You got the blue nose pit.
Now you
eyes.
those bullies. That's a abomination that
Right.
Esau created.
That's
Like
what
I have
Terrier
one.
Pit bull.
Yeah, man, I got one of them bullies, man. Yeah, that's an abomination that Esau created, because they really just came in and it was either red nose or Staffordshire.
Right.
That blue pit, that's that shit he created,
And
playing with science.
So blue eyes, they take a half pit, half husky bitch, and mix it with a full blood pit. The half husky
Yeah, I don't know
bitch,
how
half
they
blue
did
eyes.
it, but they definitely.
No, I seen on Animal Planet.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, that's how they did, because on Animal Planet it was a bus. I forget what they call them people, the animal control people. And the breeder, he had a cage. He had a half pit bull, half husky bitch. And what he do, he made it with a full blooded pit bull, and the puppies, the offspring, it come out with blue eyes.
Then he would pick the ones out and
Yeah,
then
yeah, with the blue eyes,
rebleed
right.
them.
And remember these beasts, so they'll take the puppies.
And then they so thick, them damn blues, them
Yup.
blue ones. They
The
bigger
blue
than the
eyes.
regular pits.
The pits with the blue eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
The pit bulls with blue eyes. They'll take, because they beasts. Remember, they'll take a brother sister being together to keep their blood quality, to keep those genetic quality, to keep those blue eyed pits, man. All right, that's how they do it, man. All right, but if everybody it wouldn't be so exciting. We see a pit. Oh man, what color is he? Brindle stripe, man? Is he red? Is he piebald? Is he got white fur and polka dots on him, man? That's what make it exciting, man. So the same thing with Yahweh, man, with his people and other nations, man. He like to see different colors, man. Like brother said, we born as hell, man. Everybody get the same color.
Yeah, I was watching an episode of the Vikings when they were trying to figure out what this dude was guarding. They would, because they ain't see no gold, no silver. They like, what is he guarding?
Right.
You know, and then the Moor, you know, the damn Moor tried to fight the Vikings, and they slayed this big ass real quick. And then when they opened the door, it was a room full of women of all different nationalities. Ooh. And the Vikings were all smiling. They was like, so this is what he was guarding.
Right.
They were trying to figure out, why is this building so special? Why they guarding this building? All right. And when they opened it up, it was like 50, 60 women in that harem. And they had, you know, Jake women, Edomite women, Arab women, right. Ammonite, Moab women, all these bitches is bad. And so they were like, yeah. Then what do you next scene? You saw all the women with yokes of iron and ropes around their neck being led out of there.
That's right. This
is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. It says, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science falsely so called.
Right. Does Esau avoid Esau false science, man? All right, because all he do, man, Esau just set me up to be a damn a failure, man.
Con, I just looked at this woman with the mask and this woman with the mask.
Right.
That's that false science being used as a weapon right now as we speak.
Right.
They got the whole world on lockdown over lies, over false science, and showing you false information, but they telling it so much that the majority of the people believe it.
And a woman's gonna push that out of two things, man: insecurity and fear.
Yep.
Because that's the reason why they wear those masks. But a woman will help push that fear. That's why Esau has done a major damage on the woman, man. That's how we got fucked up in slavery, man.
Yep.
That fear.
That fear, man. And she got that nurturing spirit. She want to protect her child.
Yeah.
For anything. So Esau, so the so-called black, there's like one because all 12 tribes.
Well, it shows you how much
Right.
garbage it is because you see like I'm looking at an Edomite family. When you look at them, everybody, all the adults will have on masks and the children won't.
Right.
So so it's okay that you protect it, but you gonna leave your baby out there to be,
Con.
it's all bullshit, man.
Esau, and it's the spirit you mentioned it because last week we brought out that with the people that deal with the CDC control and also the people in the electronic industry,
Right.
they have to keep them from polluting the electronics or for getting contact with the virus or whatever disease they dealing with. They put on
The whole body
visor,
suit.
they put on that
Well,
visor,
you know what
the whole
else too?
thing. Yep.
You know what else too? What's really has backfired on them? All right, because there was a question about they were worried about the homeless population. I just saw the same that homeless lady that be downtown, well, her whole her nasal cavity is open, her mouth is open, her nose is open. She doesn't have a nose. I saw that woman today. I saw her today. So that means she's been in the elements with her open up, not wearing a mask.
Right.
She's not wearing. Homeless people they don't social distance. They don't wear masks and they don't clean regularly, and they all still around. So the homeless is actually one of the main weapons to prove that this is all a lie and false.
Right.
As far as the way they're saying it is because it didn't wipe out the homeless population.
Yep.
All right,
It was
they're
so
still
bad.
around.
It was so bad, like Malcolm said, it'd be homeless people dead.
There will be homeless people dead in the streets all across America, but that never happened.
Yep.
And they actually easily catch disease because guess what? They're in the streets. They don't
They,
like the
they,
fuck they don't
and
bathe.
they malnutrition.
Yep.
Yep.
They don't bathe regularly. They
immune
don't
system down.
exactly. So it should be dead homeless in every major city, but it's not.
Right.
So that's another. And someone even put out an article about it. Well, it didn't do what we thought it would do. Well, that's because it's a fucking lie.
And then you know what? You go back into Wuhan, they were dropping dead with the mask on.
Yeah.
All the distancing and all, they were actually catching some shit out there.
And they was killing their own. Moab was killing their own people, man. Because on the news they said, why is bright hot spots there? They would burn them people up. They would shoot them down and burn them up, man.
Yeah, tell them what Moab was doing over there.
Hey, there's two governments everybody don't trust. It's the American government, the Chinese government.
Yeah, because they
man.
both killers, man.
Yeah.
And Moab probably kill you faster.
Hey, well, it says war unto the Babylon and Asia.
Because Esau will kill you just as quick as Moab,
Yep.
but Esau do it in a way where it doesn't look like he did it. Moab just right out murk your ass, right?
Do something.
You know,
about
like right, yeah, we
Right.
did it, and what?
Moab is right after Esau with that pride shit, that pseudoscience shit, and
Yep.
all that madness, man.
That's right. Go ahead. You got something?
Con, I had
All right.
Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
And refuse to let them go, man. All right, you had in history, man. You had Jake enslaved. You had the Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom, so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans being sold together as slaves, man. All right, and they pressed together. What in the ghettos, man? All right, because on the south side, not that far, south side, you got.
We're on the
Issachar,
south
man.
side now.
Yeah, we're in the south side now. All right. And not too far, you got what? Judah. Then you got what? Drive a little down more, you got the Issachar neighborhood, man. All right, then you got what? You got Ephraim neighborhood, the so-called Puerto Ricans, all in the ghettos, man, all getting their heads
Wow.
cracked by Esau.
Watch backlash from whites who opposed 19 black families who came together to buy land in Georgia.
Wow.
So Esau's already coming up. We told you that you saw what they every time you try to build your own community and separate, Esau come in and destroy you because they don't want. And look, man, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the black belt, which is just north of here, in Chicago, Elaine, Arkansas, Rosewood in Florida. I mean, how many so-called black settlements have to be destroyed? You know, I didn't mean to change the vibration, but that somebody
all
just,
fit together.
you know,
Fit together.
you know.
Hey, it's coincident we're from a pizza restaurant. You get all the degrees of pizza, man. It tastes good and shit.
And then, so what's so heavy about what you just said? Because that goes into what? It goes into the curses. It goes into the curses.
Yep.
And the difference between the Canaanite curses and all the other heathen curses is that the Lord says these curses would be a sign and a wonder to prove that we are Israel, man.
Right. What curse Canaan, so Canaan gonna forget their nationality?
Exactly.
That curse never happened.
And then another thing too. What curse or what prophecy said that Japhet was going to do to Israel? What you know how they try to
Esau,
right? They try to let Esau escape being the so-called white man and make him Japhet.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Cause,
what curse in the Bible that says that Japhet was going to rule over Esau and over Jacob and have him in slavery? There is no curse, no curse,
Right.
no prophecy that says that, man.
Because their first video with Job Issachar did with Ancient Watcher, he's like, yeah, they taught you that there's a so-called white man's Esau. He is Esau, man. And they're gonna try to get rid. They're gonna try to say the so-called white man Esau real soon, man. All right, what you got up?
Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword,
Right.
and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Hey, what happened when Esau came to Hispaniola? When the Spaniards came to Hispaniola, man, they slaughtered Ephraim and Simeon on that island, man. All right, bashed their babies against their heads and shit, split the woman's stomach open, hanging them by their necks, killing them.
They did hit
dogs
that
eat
here
them
in
up.
Chicago.
Yeah, here in
They
Chicago.
did
Right.
that here in Chicago. That
Right.
when the riots of the Black Belt, they cut some black woman's breast off.
Right.
All right, and put them on a stick.
Right, and then another thing he tried to say, that the Southern Kingdom don't mess each other, that the so-called Jamaicans don't go against the so-called African Americans and the Asians, vice versa. No, man, that's a lie, man. All right, because matter of fact, they look down. You can see all the internet. You can type on the internet. Jamaicans, they look down on Benjamin. They look down on Judah, man. They come over here. They be like, what's wrong with? It's like, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all can't get y'all shit together and blah blah blah, man?
And that's common knowledge. That's common knowledge. That's common knowledge that they say that the so-called blacks, you know, what it says to these 3 tribes, the so-called West Indians, the Negroes, and the Haitians, they say that they lack unity, man.
Yeah, they said they like unity, and the Haitians they called so-called Negroes Yankee boys. I ain't no Yankee boy, them Yankee boys. So here in Chicago, man, I remember they had the high top fade, and I remember I was looking at public access TV, and one brother, he was Haitian, his people, and he got like a high top fade. His people said, why you got your hair cut like them? Right, because it's vestation between them, man. That's part of the curses, man. All right, so you know, quit lying, man. All right, hey man, we know the scriptures, we know history. We was taught by the best from Yahweh Shai through the elders, GMS.
That's
man.
right.
All right, those his vessels, man.
Top shelf. We got the top shelf knowledge
top
over
shelf
here,
vessels,
man. Yeah, y'all got that. Matter of fact, y'all stuff ain't even on the shelf. It ain't even on the bottom. Your shit across the room on another cabinet.
In the dark basement.
Right, in the base, in the closet
public
somewhere.
closet.
With cobwebs on it, man.
That's the spirit of the spider webs
You know?
and stuff on the right.
We got that top shelf stuff that don't even get dust on it because the bottles are constantly getting grabbed.
Right.
They ain't no different than any other group because shit. When I watched that video, all they did was mix doctrine.
Yeah.
You know what? They want to talk about the Iglesia Israelites church, and they going to hell off. They still got niggas with long hair, and they ain't using the Hebrew.
Right. They ain't saying Yahweh. They saying Jehovah.
They saying a whole bunch of but those Jose Vega, y'all still using the Hebrew that came from One West.
Yep.
So that's some bullshit, man.
Give me that. They should raise the tents of Judah first.
Come on.
All right, because if those Israelites,
That's a
from,
cold cut.
if those Israelites from Peru, they came out, they looked it up before. No, man. Hey, man, Jake been knowing they were Israel since they got here.
Then why didn't the camp? Why didn't the camp start? You know, start coming out of South America?
Right.
Why didn't the Peruvians be the first ones to go on the internet and start waking up the tribes?
Right, because they was out.
Because
They didn't wake up everybody.
Because GMS got camps down in,
Right.
in Peru.
Right.
I don't know about, you know.
They worldwide.
You know.
They worldwide. They said, they got a lot of members. Yeah, they got a lot of members, but they ain't wake them up to complete truth. They ain't teach them the Most High true name was Yahweh. They ain't teach his son the true name.
Well, the first ones to go global was GMS, man.
Yep.
This truth went global because of GMS.
Because they wasn't, even though they might know the Israelites, but they not the truth. They not teaching true doctrine. All right, we're teaching the truth, man. GMS and other camps, man, that teach like us, man. They teach the scriptures correct,
Directly and correctly.
Those brothers, I think it's called Amenpu or something like that. Something like that. They not teaching the name, man. Matter of fact, that guy Ezekiel, he was a false prophet, man. He was saying that he was the prophet. Which one of the prophets? He's saying he's a prophet. I forgot which prophet he said, but anyway, he was going to hell off, man. And he said that Jerusalem is over here in Peru. It's not over there in Israel, man. And he wasn't teaching the name. He wasn't teaching the Hebrew.
He said that Jerusalem is in Peru.
That's what I believe. Yeah, he said
That dude out of his damn mind.
No,
man.
he said they ain't have to go home. That they could stay here and build a new Jerusalem.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's exactly what he said.
You know what I'm saying? How you
Well, then
think
what script? But what scripture is he using? Where's that
His
prophecy at?
imagination.
Because I don't want to be going off.
Shalom.
You know, if we supposed to Shalom, brother.
Shalom,
So
brother.
if I'm supposed to be going to Peru, I need to see those scriptures.
Right. Oh, we said it. We said Shalom.
Look, now he said we're gonna be. Well, it's not the Sabbath today, but Lord willing, we'll be out. Yeah, Lord willing, we'll be out here next week. Yeah.
Next week too?
Yeah.
Yeah, come.
What camp are y'all with?
Great Millstone.
Great Millstone? Okay. I watch y'all all the time.
All right, see that?
There it is,
There
man.
it is. Boom. We just talked about right, because that group of Peru, they wasn't waking up all tribes, man. They won't proclaim the name, the true name, all this stuff. And when we came on scene, man, the truth caught on fire. As a matter of fact, Esau wasn't worried about them, man. Esau wasn't concerned about them. Esau started being concerned about us. All these.
So they
all
was
these
on the
years,
internet.
man.
They was on YouTube first. I never seen them. I don't know who they are.
They wasn't on YouTube first. They wasn't.
Because the people I saw on YouTube before GMS was Nate.
Yeah.
That's what I was watching. Nate and
Right.
and Priest Star Wong,
Right.
who was part of I don't know if he was in the beginning, if he was, but I know he by the end he was teaching. Zabak would go out to California and teach with him sometime. Those We Got Next camps,
Right. Because I
believe.
Because before that, I ain't seen no so-called Mexican, so-called Puerto Ricans say they was Israelites here in America. While that group of Peru was out, man, I ain't seen them teaching out here on the highways and byways.
When nobody out here. This thing grew when Great Millstone, because when Nate went, you know, it wasn't no people were watching. I was watching. That's how I woke up.
Right.
You know. But with the fire that got going was when Great Millstone came on, man.
Right.
And that's when the camps started popping up all around America and around the world. They weren't popping up IUIC. They weren't popping up these Iglesias guys. They weren't popping up We Got Next or ISUBK. The truth of the Israelites went global with GMS, and that's a fact. And anyone who disagrees with that is just lying to themselves, man, because that's a fact, man. That's just the truth.
Don't try to use a group that don't use the true name of Heavenly Father. Man. Get out of here. They ain't worship a Caesar Hotel.
Exactly.
All right, give me that 10.
All right. This is Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7.
Right.
And it says, the Lord Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Right. So it started with the Sadducees and the so-called Negroes. Because who you learn from, Ancient Watchmen? You learn it from what? The so-called Negroes that you was an Israelite.
Khan.
You didn't learn it from those people down there in Peru. You didn't know you were Israelite. You thought you were a bunch of you thought you was some damn Puerto Ricans, man. The groups of Peru didn't teach you that you was an Israelite. It was what the so-called Negroes, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, tribe of Levi, that taught you that you was an Israelite. That's who Yahweh used to wake you up first. All right, so that's how you know who is the tribe of Judah, or who's the southern kingdom, man. All right, so that's a cut right there.
Right, because you had the elders who were the elders of our elders. They were going out first, man.
Yeah.
They the commandment keepers. It's not elder.
Before them, Nat Turner.
Abba Bibbins, and that was during that 1950ish, 1960 period.
And even when you watch that television show that was out, I think you can still see it on Netflix now.
Right.
Hell on Wheels. There was a scene. That was a scene where the little kid was basically the pastor to the slaves, and they snuck a Bible out of the rafters in the slave quarters and gave it to him, and he started reading the scriptures talking about the Israelites. He knew, so they were letting you know in that television show that the slaves knew that they were Israelites.
Yep.
So if knowing that, and then that's by extrapolation with the whole Nat Turner thing. Right. It just wasn't time yet. All right, and I would never teach this as doctrine, but through the Spirit, I believe that Nat Turner was King David.
Yeah, I think that
in the Spirit, I believe that, you know. And like I said, I would never teach that as doctrine, but I believe that he was. But it wasn't time yet, man. Right. That's why he had the Spirit. Or he was either that or Judas Maccabees. He had that spirit to go against Esau. Just one time yet.
Right. We're gonna let that go past. I'm gonna address something else. I'm gonna go back to that curse of Cain, and after I'm gonna address something else he said. Give me Deuteronomy 28.
Well, I hope that dude see this. You need to attach this to his lesson. You need to take this video and attach it to it.
Say Deuteronomy 28. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28.
So every time you put up a video, this one pop up.
No, 49. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49.
Right, because he trying to say that he was like, why does he cut himself in there anyway. He said, why does so-called Negroes they was oppressed by the Arabs, the Africans, and the Edomites? It says in Deuteronomy 20:49 that one nation.
Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, he trying to say that the so-called Negroes ain't here, like because they got oppressed by different nations. You a fool, man. But you finna get into it. Read that out.
This is Deuteronomy 28:49. It says,
Right.
The Lord Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flyeth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
And the eagles Esau, and tell us what? Because Esau had Hebrew interpreters, man. Hebrew interpreters to talk to who? The Israelites. When he went to West Africa, then when he went to the Americas, man.
When he came here, he brought those
right.
He brought those Morenos. He brought those crypto Sephardic Jews with him.
Yep.
Right, and some of those Moors too.
Yep. And they and they was far away. Cause Africa was so far. They was taking Jacob from all over the place, man. All right, they take them all over the place, all over Africa. Those were Israelites, man. All right, give me he tried to say. He tried to use. He tried to. What else he said? He said, yeah. They was taken from. Land, Israel. Then he tried to say, yeah, over there, Azra. But the Most High did gave Azra. He said that's talking about that too. The so-called Negroes, they've taken up in their enemy lands. You stupid, man. Give me Deuteronomy 28 when it says first Gersh go in. And give me first Gersh go in, Gersh go out. Go ahead,
Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass that in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Paphros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
Yep. Me and Israel been scattered, man. All right, go ahead.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather them together, the dispersed of Judah from the four corners.
The dispersed, all right? Me and Jake gonna be scattered all over the place, man.
He tried to say that's talking about Jake was scattered within the land, but it says that we were scattered amongst our
from
enemies.
the four corners of the earth.
Right?
Shit, even when and he went the northern kingdom themselves. Where did they go to? They went under the Assyrians.
Yep. But he's trying to say,
take it out of the land.
He's trying to say, talking about homeland, and it's talking about here in America, just that. He's saying just because the southern kingdom got taken up in Africa in an enemy's land, that don't make them Israel. That's what he's trying to say.
Man,
also-
he's a retard.
And
a
that-
retard,
it's
man.
extra retarded because you know what? How you explain the southern kingdom
Damn,
went to
me extra
Babylon?
retarded.
Babylon isn't Israel.
Yep.
How you explain that?
Go ahead. Yep. Matter of fact, give
Well, but I
He's
shut
trying
up.
to say because Jake got snatched from Africa, they disqualified as Israel because they wasn't their own.
But they didn't just get snatched up from there. As a matter of fact, some of those very Moors and Morenos, crypto Jews, went into slavery when Portugal and Spain fell, man.
Yep.
All right, some of them went into slavery. So what?
Yep.
This is Deuteronomy 28:19. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out."
When thou goest out, when you in the land of Israel, when you go away from home, you should be cursed. Go to Deuteronomy. No, what? Give me Sirach chapter 7 verse 1. That's a major cut to him. Then I'm gonna go back to that. Right. Give me Sirach chapter 7 verse 1. Man, you don't know scriptures, man. You need to sit down, man. You may as well go back to the Catholic Church. All right. Read that. Sirach chapter 7 verse 1.
Sirach 7:1, it says, "Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee."
Go ahead.
It says, "Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee."
Right.
It says, "My son, so not upon the furrows of unrighteousness."
No, I just want to reach part 1. It said, "Do no harm, depart from evil, for evil will come upon you, man." Wherever you go, man, if you do wickedness, no curses gonna follow you, man. We just read that, man. All right, go back to give me Deuteronomy 28 and 54. I think, yeah. No, not 54. Where is that?
How's it go?
Quick piece of it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm looking for
This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. This is the fate of the northern kingdom. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king,
Yeah, read
whom
64.
Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel against themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
And he cut himself when he brought that up because they was what? They get pressed by the Syrians. And what? They flee from the Syrian land into another land, man. But surely curses
And-
follow you even when you in your enemy's land.
Con, and that was America. I was trying to find
Right.
in the Jewish encyclopedia where it stated that the Jewish and it was in the Jewish encyclopedia that equated the land of Azareth with the Americas. So they knew.
They knew. All right. Go,
I
give it. Oh, okay.
This is
You get rid out. All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people,
Among all people, among all nations in their lands. Go ahead.
from the one end of the earth even unto the other,
Uh-huh.
and there thou shalt serve other gods,
Uh-huh.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone."
Right, so we're going to be in these different lands, some many different nations, and we're going to serve their gods. All right, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, all that stuff, man. All right? You serve Southern Kingdom, son of idols in West Africa, man. Those idols are those Hamites. Go ahead, read that. 65, go ahead.
And it says, "And among these nations thou shalt find no
Among
ease,
these nations thou shalt find no ease. Go ahead.
neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
Which means slavery. Go ahead, read it. Go ahead.
But the Lord Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart,
Uh-huh.
and failing of eyes,
And sorrow of mind.
and sorrow of mind."
Sorrow of mind, man. But through the curses follow you, man. Which means, yes, you're going to get the Jacobs in West Africa. The cursed victim, that's term right there, that they was going to be picked up in their enemy lands, man. They was going to be scattered to other lands, and the curse is going to follow, man. And then he said right here, he said, "Proverb." You go read Deuteronomy 28:68. We're talking about Lord should give it to your hand.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, and there shalt thou by the way whereof I spake unto thee, and thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies,
What did it say again?
and there you shall be sold unto your enemies."
Sold unto your enemies. Sold unto your enemies. Plural, man. Plural. All right? And that's double for the man, but guess what? Because it's talking about captivity, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 6. It's talking about America. America's going spiritual to Egypt. because because what you're trying to use, because Gad got shipped over there to England, man. That's not America, and vice versa.
They showed you that.
Negroes got shipped to Jamaica. That's not America.
They showed you that in the Borgias.
That's right. All right. So your doctrine is paper, man. Ain't even a paper tiger. It's just a piece of balled up paper, man. Wet and soggy, man.
I got a cut.
All right. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 5:19, and it says, "And it shall come to pass when ye shall say, Wherefore doeth the Lord our Yahweh our God all these things unto us? Then shalt thou answer them, like as ye have forsaken me and served strange gods in your land, so shall ye serve strangers in a land that is not yours."
Thank you. We'll show the curses falling where you in your land or where you in the other stranger's land, man.
Right, including the curse of having wicked brothers coming against you.
That's right, man.
All right, because you got over here to America, and they said you should be sold into your enemies. Some Jake was being sold to Huguenots, who were also Israelites.
Yeah.
But they were enemies to Israel.
There was enemies.
Because they were selling Israel, buying Israel, trading Israel.
Black slaves.
And right, and then and then being in cahoots with Esau until Esau turned on they dumb asses.
Yep. As a matter of fact, you a Huguenot. Babe, you a Huguenot, man. Nathaniel 7, you a Huguenot.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry 100, you a Huguenot.
Gone.
All right, you Aboriginals that come against us. The indigenous one, Rick Perry, you're a Huguenot, man. You not the freedom fighters, our people, man. You working with Esau. All right.
I got Joel 3:3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot.
Hey, what that happened? That happened in the Trans-Saharan slave trade, also the Trans-Saharan slave trade, where Ishmael was getting the so-called Negroes, man. All right, and made it to hard. What? Cut him off. Cut his testicles and his penis off. Why? Because Ishmael's afraid that Jake was gonna get his harlot pregnant in his harlot, man. And a lot of Jakes died from that.
They turned him into eunuchs.
They turned into eunuchs, man. Oh. All right.
And some of them were used for sex.
For sex,
They
man.
turned them into fags.
The fad that happened too. You read that, you look at that movie, Good Bad Uncle Tom, or you do history.
How they were oiling them little boys
They
up
oil the little
and
boys
putting
up.
jewelry and glitter on them, shining them
Glitter
up.
on the stuff, man. All right. Esau butt breaking. All right, but they were using our children as slaves. That happened to the so-called Negroes, man. So how could the so-called Negroes be Canaanites? As a matter of fact, that happened majority of the time to the so-called Negroes, man. Between you talking about they got so many oppressors. They got Arabs. They got Ishmael. They
It
got
said
Esau.
enemies. They supposed to have
They
so many
enemies,
oppressors.
man. Matter of fact, get that First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. What nation had a part in oppression?
And sold a girl for wine,
Sold a girl for wine. All right, go ahead.
that they might drink.
That they might drink. All right, go ahead.
Jump down 6.
Yeah.
And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have we sold into the Grecians.
No, go back to 4.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Go
This
ahead.
is Joel 3 and 4.
Uh-huh.
Yea, and what have we to do with
Tyree
and
Zidon.
Zidon
Uh-huh.
and all the coast of Philistine,
Palestine.
Palestine.
All right, and that's talking about Ishmael, man. Because Ham was the rulership of the lands with Ishmael.
At that time, Ishmael had taken it over.
That time Ishmael taken by the time the Sub-Saharan, it's not the Sub-Saharan, the transatlantic slave trade happened and the Sub-Saharan slave trade happened. That was Ishmael dealing out those so-called Negroes, and this is exactly what happened, man. When you look at the movie Roots, you seen what you had Esau
Around the 44th minute.
Yep, Esau had Ham, and he had Ishmael to hunt down Jake in West Africa.
Right.
Man.
And to reinforce
Yep.
that lie that the Arabs were Egyptians,
Right.
we got movies came out in Hollywood like The Mummy.
Right.
The defenders of whatever they called themselves,
Right.
they were all a bunch of Ishmaelite looking men.
Magi.
The Magi, right.
Right. The Magi. Right.
For the most part.
They
They
try,
were,
Gates try to say it runs your mama's side and shit, stuff like that. But no, it said his father was a Egypt. What a
But the guys,
yeah.
the majority of them all look like
high
Ishmaelites.
yellow, everything.
Yeah, because those are the ones that would normally put in the front seat, or they would be in a ruler type of rulership. They would have Ishmael. They would have somebody play somebody as a pharaoh of ancient times. They would show Ishmael. And then they might have a few dark-skinned guys in the back. That's how they would have. That's how they had it on.
And they were usually slaves or soldiers.
Right.
Like they had they didn't have a place of dominance. You know, they were just he's just a soldier following orders.
Right. Yep. Go on, bring that out.
This is First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. It says, "What
Remember,
nation?"
he said, well, how did the Negroes had Ishmael, Esau, and Ham oppressing? Why how these nations? That disproved that they are the Israelites. Like, no, you stupid, man. Read that. Go ahead.
It says, First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10.
Uh-huh.
It says, "What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom?"
It said what?
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom?
Every nation on this earth had a part pressing Israel, man. Every nation. It just ain't one nation. It now in Deuteronomy 28:49, when it said nation, it means Pacific. It's talking about Esau, because Esau was the head ringleader of our oppression. Man, then the other nation, they fall suit behind Esau, just like a school bully. A school bully, he beating the hell out of everybody. Everybody get a land, get on the side, because they want to get their ass whooped, man. And they benefit for the protection.
All of a sudden, he get all his little flunkies that roll with
all
him.
this whole flunky. That's
And he always have a co-bully. Then he have a bunch of little flunkies behind that.
Give me Psalms 83. Psalms 83.
Okay.
Star 1. Give me that.
Psalm 83:1. Keep not those silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
Right.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult,
They make a rebellion. Go ahead.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right. They coming against your house. All right. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Thy people and hidden ones talking about the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a
Come
nation.
and let us call upon the nation. That's plural, man. That's more than one oppressor, ancient watchman. It just ain't Esau, man. Go ahead, name these nations.
Look at what
Come
that
and let
meant.
us
I'm
cut them
Elizabeth.
off from being
Look
a
at that.
nation,
Right.
that the
They
name
mess
of
with-
Israel may be no more. than
Right. And that's what they calling all bywords, man. Nigger,
Not know how to make
TK,
it come back
Abib.
up.
All right, high type, black folks and shit, man. All right, all these nations, every nation we go to
Yeah, I don't know
call
how to
different
make it come back
bywords,
up.
man. Go
Okay,
ahead, read
cool.
on nations' name. Who on the number?
All I
of
usually
nations?
So they have
It's
consulted
looked up
together
so
with
high.
one consent. They are
One
confederate.
consent. So
against
all these heathen nations against the so-called Negroes, Latino, and they prayer. Not just one person, ancient watchman. You don't know scriptures, man. Keep reading.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacle of Edom, go ahead. So-called white man, go ahead.
and the Ishmaelites
The Israelites, go ahead.
of Moab,
Chinese.
and the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes, that's
Sons of Ham.
Sons of Ham.
No, the Hagarenes are actually Hagar. So those
Hagars.
are Ishmaelites,
Ishmaelites, Salafi.
claiming their mother's side, right?
Ishmaelites, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Gabal,
Gabal, Ham. I read that. Yep, go ahead.
and Ammon,
Ammon, Japanese, go ahead.
and Amalek.
Amalek, the number one tribe that leads the nation of Edom.
The
Those
leaders
Jewish
of the
people.
world at this point.
Yep, because you look at those names, those Jewish people. Go ahead.
The Philistines
The Philistines,
With
Hamites. Go ahead.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
The habits of Tyre.
More Hamites.
Hamites. All right, go ahead.
Ashur also is joined
Those
with them.
Assyrians. Go ahead.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Lot is Moab and is Chinese and Japanese, man. So it's more than one nation. Ancient Watchman, Vega. All right, you need to shut up, man.
Really?
You need to shut up. Go in your. You need to shut up and go back in your closet, man. All right, like Madam Logic. All right, what was?
Yeah, we ain't heard from her. She shut up. She finally shut up.
Oh, she came back a 3 months ago. Then she
Are
went
you
back in the
serious?
closet. Yeah, I seen her comment.
She
don't-
came out
don't
the
come out
closet.
like she used to. All right. I'll watch it. Anybody got something else before I go to the next? I'm going to that cursor king.
I'm gonna finish this for well. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have we sold to the Grecians.
That's Esau. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that we might remove them far from their border.
Far from that border, man. Because over there in Africa, we weren't that far from Israel. Matter of fact, they also snatch our people from the Levant area, man. All right, the Levant area, man, the Middle East. They were taking them from the Middle East. They was taking them from Africa, North Africa, Northwest Africa, West Africa, South Africa, and Southwest Africa, man. Matters over there, man. All right. At the same time, they take the Northern Kingdom and spread them into the old world, man. All right. That's it. All right. So there's more than one oppressor, man. All right. And that particular scripture fit the so-called Negroes, the Southern Kingdom that was in Africa, man. Majority of the time, that wasn't the Northern Kingdom, man. Yeah, the Northern Kingdom, but most of that happened to what? The so-called Negroes, man. Because Ishmael was hunting Jake, also on the east coast of Africa, man. All right. But yeah, give me Genesis 9:25. Yeah, they try to talk about all that's talking about when. No, in fact, you know what? You give me that. Somebody give me Deuteronomy 28, 43, and 44. Somebody give me the scripture where it said the Lord is not the author of confusion.
Deuteronomy 28 and 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
All right.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And thou shalt come down very low. All right. So the Most High is a power of balance, man. All right. He's not gonna curse Israel, then curse somebody alongside with him shall curse, man. All right. That's a lie, man. You read that Proverbs chapter 11:1. Most High unbalanced is an abomination to him, man. All right.
Yeah, they didn't go through this, so why they get the blessings?
Right.
And they're not a part of the covenant.
And they part of the covenant, man. All right. They ain't take no color. How did it ain't talking about? We don't show what that curse is.
Even Smokey told the priest, "You didn't put in on this, man."
Right. Give me that Genesis 9:25. Somebody give me that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12.
This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 25. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, shall he be unto his brethren."
Right, because Canaan seen his father naked. He didn't tell the matter to his brother, so Noah woke up.
He didn't cover his. He actually.
He didn't cover him up.
He made fun of his father's nakedness.
Weird and shit.
Right.
When he should have just covered his father up.
Right.
You know.
Right. He didn't,
kept it moving.
He should have kept it moving, man. It's a lot. Right. He made fun of his father, man. And he should have kept it moving. All right. But he didn't, man. That's why Noah woke up. He cursed what? He cursed Ham's son Canaan, man. All right. Go ahead.
And that's fitting too, because Canaan's curse came because Canaan lost his land.
Yep.
First to the Israelites and now to Ishmael. And then Khan.
Go ahead.
And he said, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, God of Shem."
God of Shem. Now let's talk about Israel, man, because Most High only did with Israel. Amos chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Go ahead.
And he says, "And Canaan shall be his servant."
And Canaan should be his servant. All right. Go read that. All right, go ahead.
And it says, "The Most High shall enlarge Japheth,
Uh-huh.
and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem."
Right, because Japheth was dwelling over there with Shem, man. Because Israel, the Mediterranean Islands wasn't that far from Israel, man. They was in that land. As a matter of fact, during the Dark Age, Japheth was still in that land when Jake came there, man. And Esau was murdering them, man. They was fighting the Romans and stuff, man.
It talks about how Dan would travel and hang out with Japheth.
Yep.
With Javin.
Yep.
All right, with Greece.
Yep.
It was Javin it was Javin that was called Greece. His nickname was Greece.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Go ahead. And Cain should be his servant.
It says, the Most High shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
And Canaan should be his servant, man. He's gonna be basically the lowest of the people, man. All right. So Canaan was cursed, man, to be a servant for Shem and Japheth, man. All right. But that's not talking about what so-called Negroes on the slave ships, man. All right. As a matter of fact, Canaan, that fulfilled when Canaan went down, man. Because Esau started taking Canaan down, man, with the Roman Empire, man.
Canaan's curse was that he was gonna serve witchcraft, get kicked out of his land.
That's what I'm gonna get into.
Became a slave.
That's what I'm gonna get into. Right, but I'm talking about what they trying to say. There's something Ezekiel 28 they try to break down wrong, but go to give me because part of their curse was that matter of fact, give me Genesis 15 and 16. Somebody give that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12, but All right. We're going to keep that on that. We're going to get into that. All right. Matter of fact, give me that Genesis 15 and 16. All right. Start with 13. Go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 16, verse 13. It says, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Go ahead.
Another one. And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
This time when we was in Egypt. All right, go ahead. Keep reading on. Keep reading on to 16. Go ahead.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance.
All right, so it's talking about, we're not coming out of great substance out of America. America, they told the story, man. So they ain't talking about here in America. A lot of brothers get that wrong. Go ahead, keep reading 15.
And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age.
All right, keep reading. Read that 16.
But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
It's not yet full. All right? All right? So that's part of the curse, man. Could iniquity, could the Most High curse them not to be right? All right? We're going to bring down in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12, man. All right? Go ahead. Get that Sirach chapter, not Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12.
And he said that they would come to it again, man.
Yep.
You know, that Jake had to wait for the height of sin to be raised up.
Yep.
And for the Lord to take down that nation.
That's part of that curse.
Yep.
All right? Somebody give me the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12.
Wisdom of Solomon 12.
Yeah. Read from 1. Yeah.
Verse 1. For
Right.
thine uncorruptible spirit is in all things.
Right. Go ahead.
Therefore chastenest thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord.
All right.
Built to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy
And
land.
that's talking about the Canaanites, man. The parasites, all them Canaanites. Go ahead. That's part of the curse. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices.
And what do they worship? Moloch. All right. Because also another thing he's trying to say that that the Prince of Tyre, Ezekiel 28, that's talking about the so-called Negroes. No, man, that's talking about Esau, man. All right. This just because Tyre is spiritual. Tyrese is spiritually talking about Esau, man. Because what did Esau got here in America? He goes after Canaanite culture. What you got? The Bohemian Grove. Somebody put the Bohemian Grove on their phone, and what did they worship? That what? Molech. All right, and that's what the whom thou hatest for doing the daily works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices. They sacrifice. They what they do? They sacrifice their children to Moloch, the owl, man. And that's what Esau does, man. You go Bohemian Grove. Put up Bohemian Grove. The Bohemian Grove Club, man.
All right. Forest with an owl.
Yeah, put that, show them to the camera. All right?
Let me see.
It's also another one where a bunch of homo politicians run around butt ass naked, man.
Yep.
They bring in homosexual prostitutes.
One of those so-called Negroes, slaves, worship no damn Moloch. They came over here, man. Matter of fact, the song Kumbaya, I mean, what, rise in your house.
Right.
They weren't singing no Kumbaya Malak or Kumbaya Bear. Y'all damn minds, man.
Right. Like, how you explain that most of those so-called black slaves were speaking Hebrew, man? If they had Hebrew cousins, man. It's certain brothers.
Hebrewism, right?
You got certain brothers that actually knew that they were Israelites because they had most of their ancestors, most of their grandparents told them they were Israelites, and they knew it from slavery, man.
Right.
That it was passed down. Right. Now, on a broad scale, it wasn't taught. You know, Esau had that knowledge killed and shut and in silence. But you still had that being passed on, man. And not to mention, you still even in Africa, those cities over Africa, you had Hebrew names over those places, right, man. Fort Judah, man. How you explain that?
Even the slaves themselves had Hebrew names. They have the records of the rosters.
Right. Wrap it up. All right.
That's what that means.
Kind of.
Wrap it up.
Just speed it up, brother.
Oh, speed up. I'm sorry. It's a lot. Yeah, man, because Bohemian Grove, what, they brought Moloch the owl. You go to Bohemian Grove Club, they got the owl, they symbol, man. All right? So they doing the customs out of Canaan, man. That's why Esau in Ezekiel 28, he referred to Prince of Tyre. What was Tyre? That was a Canaanite colony, man. All right? Read down further.
Verse 5. And also those merciless murderers of children.
Yup, they murder children, worship Moloch, and today they're playing parenthood, man. They're worship playing. Esau behind that, man.
Yep.
Not no so-called Negroes.
Yep, that's right.
They made dupe the so-called Negro Jews to give them their babies, man. The Esau pushed their programming, man.
As a matter of fact, that school in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Chicago got an owl on both sides of it. It got a great big old owl sitting at the front door in a statue. That one on State Street, right there in the middle of the Gold Coast.
So how the hell the so-called Negroes is Canaan and Tyre and Ezekiel 28, man? And then also, you know, you have people as they're working abortion clinics or in the daycare center, they admitted that they sacrifice children, man. And that's what they do Bohemian Grove. Though at least they sacrifice children to who?
And they still doing it. That's all this pedo. That's one of the things that this COVID did.
Right.
So much evidence came out about Pizzagate and all that other stuff.
Yep.
The COVID was also used. The COVID was a cover for a lot of wickedness, man.
Right.
It covered up the crash of the dollar, and it covered up all that pedophilia with these elites in Hollywood and all that stuff.
Right, man. All right. Matter of fact, Jake got to go to Esau to learn all this wickedness on the left hand side, man. They don't go to a so-called Negro to learn that, man. I mean, come on, man. Get the hell out of here, man. All right, go ahead.
And devourers of men's flesh.
About eating people and shit, man. They still doing it today.
Drinking blood.
Drinking blood. Because blood got what
they call it. What they call it? What do they call that stuff? Adrenochrome. Yeah,
right.
that shit.
Hey, well, Jake made sure they meat is done, man. So-called Negro made sure they meat is done, no blood in it, man. And they drain the blood out of their meat, man. Well, it said Romans 18, the spirit of their witness, that we are the children of the Most High. Come on, man. Jake cringes when he see blood in his meat, man.
It's funny, I was just thinking
Jake don't want no bloody meat.
Jake don't want no bloody meat, but the Hamites, they like it, man.
And so does Esau.
like it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, what's that movie called? District 49, District 39. Anyway,
right.
In Johannesburg, they had the aliens or whatever, and they had those fucking Hamites. They was eating the goddamn aliens, man.
They wanted their strength.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, bring them here that I may eat them.
That's a witchcraft practice, man. That's what they believe. If they eat the blood or the limbs of somebody or their enemies.
Well, yeah. So you know what? Japhet was on that too. Those Samoans and them Hawaiians, when they would go in battle, they would do. That's why they would stick their tongue out when they do their little war dance.
Right.
That's telling you that I'm gonna defeat you and then I'm gonna eat you.
I'm going to eat you.
Right, because they would always want to eat the strongest of the warriors. So
right.
because if you defeated and killed a strong warrior and then you eat certain of his body parts, they believed that you would get his strength. Right. It would increase yours.
It ain't Jake nature to eat, man. Now today he learned his shit from Esau, but Jake they weren't doing this shit, man.
The Haka.
All right, go ahead.
It said, and all those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the beasts of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that kill with their own hands souls destitute of help.
Kill no babies, man. All right, go ahead.
That the land which thou esteemest above all might receive
Israel's a holy land. Israel's a holy land. That's why he drove him out.
And you know that Esau's such a hypocrite. You'll kill a baby for convenience, but then you'll turn around and put a man on child support and destroy his financial well-being so that he can't support his children. He can't support himself.
Right.
It's crazy.
Crazy, man.
But like you care about kids because you're in a country that she kills children for convenience and then say it's okay.
Yep. Go ahead. Keep going.
It said, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of the Most High's children. Nevertheless, even those that spares as men and did sin wasp forever of thine host to destroy them little by little, not that thou wast unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beasts or with one rough word, but executing thy judgments upon them little by little, that thou gavest them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed.
Man, they gonna never learn righteousness. They gonna keep doing wickedness, man. All right, go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
it was
That's part of that curse. Go ahead, Rick. Yeah, keep going.
For it was a cursed seed from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Neither didst thou fear of any man give them pardon for those things wherein they sinned.
All right, so that's part of the curse to go back to Genesis 9:25. And another thing they became draws of wood and water, man. Give me Joshua 9 and 1. 9 and 1. I think that's 9 and give me Joshua chapter 9. They became draws of the wood. They can't serve. It's part of the curse. It got nothing to do with the so-called Negroes getting on the slave ships, man.
That's what 9 and 1.
Yeah, now when they can't draws of wood.
Give us a stone to draw the
Yeah.
water.
Oh man, I'm about to cut. Yeah, we got to end this, man. I'll finish the rest of this on personal videos. All right, go ahead.
This is Joshua 9.
But they can't draw some wood. Go ahead.
Okay, in verse 21. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation.
And thus the curse in Genesis 9:21 that what? They're going to get driven out of their land and they're going to become tributaries and slaves of the Israelites, man. It got nothing to do with the so-called Negroes coming on the slave ships, man. All right, you had no understanding of the scriptures, man. All right, and you are no match for Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, they gave us this understanding through the elders at GMS, man. They came from One West, man. All right, One West the best. All right, curse of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. All right, so I'm gonna end this. All right, so all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Karkadash.
Double honor to our elders and apostles in New York, GMS, and salutations to your Akron brothers, teaching truth in your lives on the line for it. Above.